Y'all know we all live two lives. Let's check in on our social life. Ben Simmons, I guess you've seen, is that shooting a jumper? Shady, I'm not entirely sure. J-Mac on tweet, I can't stop laughing at this Ben Simmons shot.
You know what? Let me clap, though. At least he shot the ball, man. At least he shot the ball.
That's where you're
in Philadelphia, we just want to shoot a little layup. You know what I mean? A little free throw.
How do you feel about Ben Simmons?
As like a person or a player?
As a player. You're a Philly guy. He's a Philly guy.
I think he's really great on defense. I think he handles the ball well. I think he lacks heart, right? I think he lacks heart, and he don't really shoot the ball.
That's something. That's something right there.
I mean, he wasn't really trying to make it. You know, he probably just trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Is he ever?
Jesus Christ, Shady. Okay, we're moving on. The NFC East is the talk of the NFL right now. Eagles, only undefeated team in the league. But on the other side of town, the Dallas Cowboys, they've won 4 straight. You see Jalen Hurts, and there you see the Cowboys defense. They got each other this week at the Link. Eagles favored by 5.5 at home. That's Sunday night. It's about to get spicy. Shady gonna be there. Dave might be there. They not gonna be there together. It's going down. Anyway, let's get to it. Can we come on camera? Enough seeing Jalen Hurts. We're seeing plenty this week.
I'm ready to play.
Yo,
I'm ready to suit up and play right now, baby.
This is a true story, Joy and Dave. Okay. Shady and I were a part of this. I'm going to let y'all in. So it's this morning. It's 10:45 in the morning. I'm sitting here on the stair stepper. I'm watching the 2014 Cowboys-Eagles matchup. This is a true story. I'm sitting here watching the game.
Which one?
Second one. The one we lost.
The one that Dallas gave you that work?
Watch your mouth.
That was brutal.
Your mouth, you watch it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But I played in that one, so I'm rewatching that joint. Shady gonna come up, hey, what you doing, bro? I'm like, hey, I'm watching the old game. He like, am I giving them crazy work? I'm like, you are, but we're losing 21-0. He was like, oh, okay.
That sounds about right.
The end of that story. Anyway, let's talk about this matchup. Cowboys-Eagles. Cowboys are 4-1. Eagles are 5-0. Joy, how wide is the gap between those two teams?
I think it's pretty significant. I do. I've seen the Cowboys be bad this year. Bad to the point where we were calling for the end of the season bad. True. It was sky is falling bad. I haven't seen that from the Cowboys because I haven't even seen the Eagles because I haven't even seen them lose yet. I really don't think there's any great teams in the NFL this year. Every team has something about them that we're not really sure about. We want to kind of wait and see. We know there's good teams, but to me, there's 3 good teams that we are sure are really good teams. And then there's everybody else. It's the Buffalo Bills, it's the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's the Philadelphia Eagles. There we go. There's tiers. Those 3,
there you go.
Everybody else. That's what it is right now.
Good job, Doc.
Thank you.
About right.
Thank you. Right? I feel like that's accurate.
Yeah.
I think that's really how everybody feels if they're being honest. Now, this conversation might not go that way, but the Cowboys have things that you can be concerned about. And the biggest gap comes at the most important position, which is the quarterback position. Jalen Hurts is having an excellent season. Cooper Rush is performing well. They are winning. That's important. But he's not putting up numbers that you're writing home about. He's just not. They're winning because of their defense and because of his ability not to turn the ball over, which is significant, but it's not crazy when you look at his statistics. And I know they're not everything, but they haven't been in a situation where they've had to come from behind more than 7 points. They've only trailed, I think, a little over 12 minutes in all the games he's played so far this season. So to me, there is a very significant gap between the Eagles and the Cowboys.
I love that take. I don't agree with it, but I love it. I don't think there's a gap between these two squads.
It's even.
I think it's even. Now, if there is a gap, the gap is at quarterback, clearly. Jalen Hurts, Cooper Rush. If there is a gap, it's there.
Okay.
We'll talk about if Dak Prescott should come back, when he should come back. Any gap that exists between the Cowboys and the Eagles, the Cowboys defense makes up for.
Okay.
For any gap, for the wide receiver gap, because the Eagles clearly have a better wide receiver room, the Cowboys defense, I would say, makes up for. For the tight end gap, because I believe Dallas Goedert is better than an injured Dalton Schultz, the Cowboys defense makes up for. For the quarterback gap, because we all know Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Cooper Rush, the Cowboys defense makes up for. Any gap that might exist between the Cowboys and the Eagles, I think the Cowboys defense makes up for. And that's where I lie. That's where I sit as I assess this game right now. Offensively, I like the Cowboys running back room. I like their Eagles receiver room. I like the O-lines equally right now because Mailata's not healthy right now, and Jason Kelce is much of a beast as he is, and he's a first-ballot Hall of Famer. God, I hope he can play this Sunday. So offensively, offensive line, I'm like, they're kind of the same. Quarterback, give me the Eagles all day. But then you go defensively.
Go ahead, defense. Go ahead. Go defense.
When I go defensively, defensive line, I'll go Eagles. Linebacking core, Cowboys. Safeties, I go Cowboys. Cornerbacks, I go Eagles. So when I look at it, I'm like, bruh, I can't find a gap that's wide enough for me to really put concrete faith in either squad. I say it like this, and Shady, I can't wait to hear your response.
Yeah.
If you gave the Eagles the Cowboys schedule, in my mind, Bucks, Bengals, Giants, Commanders, Rams, I think the Eagles would have a loss.
Okay.
So as I look at it,
if you switch it,
if you switch it, it is what it is. It is switched.
Would they be undefeated? You think the Cowboys?
No, I think I don't think the Cowboys would be undefeated in that schedule. But I think the Eagles would have a loss if they face that Cowboys schedule. So that's where I'm staying with the doll. You tell me, break it down.
So since you brought up other teams, let's do that.
Let's do it.
So when we watched a good team like the Bucks, right? When the Cowboys, with this great defense playing against the Bucks, they had 2 sacks.
Yep.
And that was by Parsons, right? Made great plays, right? The Bucks made adjustments. They started chipping them, and I was into that, right? I watched Leonard Fournette run up and down the field. They bullied the Cowboys. See, I felt like the Cowboys was a good team because I truly do. I had to go to the film room, right? We always talk about the stats, and I love stats, but I like to go to my eyeballs.
Talk to me.
When I watched that game, right, they got bullied up front. So when I watched the Eagles, I think they run the ball better than the Bucks. Now, it might be different, but they run the ball better, and their quarterback can run. So now you have to prepare even more for the running game. I watched the last game with the Cowboys, or with the not Chargers, the Arizona Cardinals against the Eagles. That last drive, what did we do? Ran the ball down their throats.
Ran the hell out of it.
It's called bully ball, right? Bully ball, you know what that is? So I want to see when all these great pass rushers that the Dallas Cowboys have, when we line up and we just run the ball down their throats.
Huh? Why you put great pass rushers in quotes?
I'm just saying, everybody loves to say how, the Cowboys, are like, give Parsons his love, because he's a different type of player.
He's a pass rusher.
I'm not giving DeMarcus Lawrence like the Parsons talk. He's good, and I think Parsons is different. So all I'm saying is this. When you put bullies next to the other bullies, let's see who's the bigger bully. And the bigger bully's in Philadelphia. You know that.
I mean, the beauty of it is
Cameron, get me. Hold up. No, don't miss that.
How did you do it, Dave?
He's a lot better than me. Don't make me do it again. Come on. No, I'm not. No, don't even put the one shot on me. I'm not doing it.
Sunday night, it's going to be and real quick, I am going to the game, right? I'm going to be there.
Can I come?
Not with me.
Yeah, okay.
Better call Daz, Brian, or Dak.
See what they can do. It'd be like new phone with this.
I'm ready to tell you right now.
Dave.
How wide's the gap, Dave?
The beauty of it is we don't have to wait very long to figure it out, right? Like, we'll get to see on Sunday night. I do think there is a gap. I don't think it's substantial. But it's very interesting because the 2 biggest differences are the 2 most important things in football. Quarterback, pass rush, right? That's who gets paid in football, the guy who throws the ball and the guy who gets paid to put the quarterback on the ground. I think the Eagles have a definitive advantage in the quarterback department. There's just no way around that. The Cowboys have a pass rush that could neutralize damn near any quarterback. Even Tom Brady, they did. The Bucs ran the ball so well against the Cowboys. You're not wrong at all, Shady. But they even neutralized Tom Brady. They sacked him twice in the red zone. The Bucs scored 1 touchdown in that game. They scored 19 points.
Up and down the field. And we're a better red zone team than
what matters at the end of the game? How many points you have.
That's true.
If you stop the offense in the red zone after they run it between the 20s and they kick a field goal, that's a good thing at the end of the day.
Let me ask you one more question, right? So I think the Eagles' offensive line is pretty good, right? Healthy,
it's banged up.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see who's out there Sunday.
What was the question? You didn't ask a question.
Because my question is, do you think that defensive line, right, with the Cowboys, is going to dominate the Eagles line like they doing everybody else?
Dominate, but they'll make life tough on them, especially if Mailata and Kelsey can't.
But it's going to be a different, though. If we held, it's going to be a different story from watching our line.
Okay, like if I was 6 inches taller, I could play sports. What do you want from me?
First of all, we got to wait until the last ruling of who's playing, who's not playing. I doubt that Kelsey's going to miss a game. I've never seen it.
I tend to agree with you about that, but I still think the offensive line is...
You say what would you say?
If I had to bet on Wednesday, I think Jason Kelsey would play in this game.
And that offensive line against that defensive line, it's not like everybody else. It's not like playing the Washington.
It's not.
Commanders.
Joy, let me ask you this, because Dave made a good point, but speaking of Shady, who keeps bringing up the defensive line, is the Cowboys' defense and defensive line good enough to neutralize Jalen Hurts? Because the biggest gap is Jalen Hurts, Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush doesn't make any mistakes, but Jalen Hurts makes special plays. Cooper Rush has yet to make a special play. He plays clean, but I haven't ever seen Cooper Rush been like, yo, he just did something no one else could do. Is the Cowboys' defensive line good enough to neutralize Jalen Hurts?
If we're saying that they're going to make Jalen Hurts a non-factor, I don't believe so, because I think that Jalen Hurts is that special. I do think that they can temper them. They can make things a little more complicated for them. I mean, Arizona was able to do that. It's not like Philadelphia ran up and down the field the entire game on Arizona. You can see that by the scoring that it didn't go that way. However, my question is not what they're going to do to Jalen Hurts, because I think that Jalen Hurts will still be effective, just not as effective as if they weren't going against one of the top 2 defenses in the league. My question is, how is Cooper Rush going to answer Philadelphia's defense, who might not be as dynamic and flashy as the Cowboys defense, but is still really, really good? And I haven't seen Cooper Rush do anything special yet. So my questions aren't really on that side of the ball. Yes, the Cowboys defense will make things more difficult for Jalen Hurts, but I've seen Jalen Hurts do special things. How is Cooper Rush going to respond to Philadelphia's defense is my question, because I haven't seen that yet.
I think both. Well, real quick, Dave, because I got to address Shady's point.
She asked a great question.
I got something to say.
She asked a great question.
Go ahead.
In the 2 games that both of these teams played the worst, they struggled with the exact same issue. The Cowboys' worst game was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Cowboys could not stop the power run game by the Bucs and Leonard Fournette. The game that the Eagles played the absolute worst, but nobody talks about it because they won by the grace of God, was against the Detroit Lions, where DeAndre Swift, Shady's one of his top 5 running backs, ran for 144 yards. The 2 games they played the worst was when the opponent was running the ball down their throat. So to Joy's point, I'm not as worried so much about Cooper Rush. For me, the real question is, who gonna be the bigger bully? Like Shady's talking about. Now, I got to get NFL Live-ish on you. I got to get real. Let's talk some nuances of ball on you real quick, which you can talk about.
Don't throw me a bunch
Let's
of stats.
talk about it.
Don't throw me a bunch of
I'm not talking no stats.
Eyeballs. Okay.
Eyeballs. There's a difference in the Eagles' run game, the Bucs' run game, the Cowboys' run game. Why does this matter, America? Because styles make fights. I was talking to a great offensive line coach one time, and he told me QB run game's not run games. Excuse you? What you mean QB run game, not run game?
Was he 80?
No. I said, what you mean QB run game, not run game? He said, because QB run game is based upon scheme. It's not based upon me dominating another man.
Okay.
Eagles run game, as you know, that's quarterback run game. Bucs run game, that's I'm going to look you in your eyes and run right through your face mask. So I don't know that the Cowboys defense is going to be as concerned with the Eagles run game, because you know as well as I, Miles Sanders isn't Leonard Fournette. I think he's just as dynamic, but he's not running through you.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I need you to speak to that as a 10,000-yard rusher.
I get what you're saying. You're saying more just like how you run the ball.
Correct.
I mean, but I led the league, and I didn't run straight this power every play from under center. I did it here and there. But you can still scheme it up. You can still run a power from out the gun and have your quarterback as an option to run the ball.
But you struggled, and I'll speak as somebody who's on the sidelines watching you. Struggled. Wow.
Let's hear this.
You struggled with, or I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You took more advantage of bigger, slower linebackers than faster, quicker linebackers. Bigger, slower linebacker, you just going whoop whoop, and you told me you gave Ray Lewis crazy work. Not my words.
I didn't say that. I never said that.
Oh, okay. So now you're scared. Now you're scary.
Come on, come with the question. I'm not gonna come on. What's the question?
So the question is, can the Eagles dominate that Cowboys running the ball, knowing that the Cowboys have speed?
I think so. It's just all about the scheme, right? We're going to run downhill. We run downhill football. If you watch, like I talked about last game, our last drive, we ran the ball down our throats, the Cardinals. It wasn't all just, RPOs and all cute schemes. Nah, we ran downhill, power running, double block schemes, right? And I think we'll do the same thing. I think that the Cowboys, they're fast. They're side to side, they're fast. So we're running downhill, and I think we can do that.
I just think the fun thing, I think you do a disservice.
It ain't going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be fun for me. I don't have to play in it. It's going to be awesome for me.
I'm still in it.
I'm going to be sitting on my couch unless you can find a ticket for me. No, I think you do a disservice talking about this Cowboys defense so straightforward. That's what makes it interesting to me, is like they have so many pieces that can do so many things. Their best pass rusher is a linebacker. Micah Parsons is going to do more than line up on different edges in this game. Like, he's going to come through the A-gap. Yeah. They're going to have him do some spy. Anthony Barr is a guy that has rushed the passer at times in his life. And on top of that, Dan Quinn's got 3 safeties that can play front and back, all 3 of whom have done a little bit of stuff blitzing, rushing the passer, dropping in coverage. Like, I just think it's going to be such a challenge for Jalen Hurts, and honestly for the running game as well. I give the Eagles the benefit of the doubt at that, but there's so many maneuverable pieces for Dan Quinn to work with. It's way harder to defend than just saying Cowboys defensive line versus Philly offensive line. It ain't going to be that.
Here's not a sexy answer, But the real answer lies in Jeff Stoutland. I believe Jeff is his first name.
Yeah.
Jeff Stoutland and Dan
line
Quinn.
coach.
They will dictate the game. If y'all don't know who those names are, clearly you know Dan. Look up Jeff Stoutland, Dan Quinn.
Great line
That's
coach.
actually the matchup you want to know about this game. Coming up, Devontae